I'm going to be reading from John chapter 19, if you guys want to turn there with me real fast. We're going to look at John 19, verses 30 through 37. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." And with that, he bowed his head and he gave up his spirit. Now it was the day of preparation, and the next day was to be a special Sabbath. Because the Jewish leaders did not want the bodies left on the crosses during the Sabbath, they asked Pilate to have the legs broken and the bodies taken down. The soldiers therefore came and broke the legs of the first man who had been crucified with Jesus, and then those of the other. But when they came to Jesus and found that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. Instead, one of the soldiers pierced Jesus' side with a spear, bringing a sudden flow of blood and water. The man who saw it has given testimony, and his testimony is true. He knows that he tells the truth, and he testifies so that you also may believe. These things happened so that the scripture would be fulfilled. Not one of his bones will be broken. And as another scripture says, they will look on the one they have pierced. What a great verse that Sean ended with. For you were going astray like sheep, but now you have turned back to the shepherd and guardian of your souls. That shepherd imagery is very moving to me. We are the lost sheep who are wandering away from our shepherd, but Jesus, being the good shepherd, will never let us wander very far. Because like any good shepherd, Jesus is jealous for his sheep. And his jealousy for us shines most brightly from the cross. When we say that God is jealous, we're not talking about the jealousy that we see in TV show dramas. That kind of jealousy that we see there is motivated by anger and frustration because you're losing control of what you think should be yours. So that kind of jealousy is selfish and it's destructive. On the other hand, the jealousy that God has for us is motivated by love, not anger or control. It's a jealousy that's motivated by our good. It's a jealousy that desires what is rightfully His. It's a jealousy that aims to restore our relationship with Him. It's a jealousy of a shepherd for his sheep. A shepherd would do anything for his flock because they are his and they're in his care. He loves them. We know that King David, who was a shepherd, fought off a bear and a lion to protect his sheep. Now, who in their right mind would fight a lion for the sake of a sheep? Well, a jealous shepherd would. Because that sheep is not the lion's, that sheep is the shepherd's, and he loves that sheep. He won't let anything take that sheep away. The shepherd's jealous love leads him to action, even action that seems absurd, action that seems suicidal. Jealous love always leads to action. And on the cross, we see God's jealous love for us take action. Who would willingly submit to the torment that Jesus went through? Who would by choice go through a flogging, having his back ripped open, being stripped naked, being cursed and insulted, having thorns pounded into his head, having nails put through his hands and his feet, fighting for every breath while he was suffocating on a cross? You may not be aware of this, but suffocation was most often the cause of death for those who were crucified. That's why these soldiers were breaking the legs of the men who were next to Jesus, who were being crucified in our passage. When the prisoners' legs were broken, they could no longer pull up for breath any longer. Jesus was far too gone, though, and so they pierced his side. This is what the passage Casey read to us was referring to. Jesus was pierced for our transgressions. But he didn't have any blood left to give. And so water flowed out. Why would Jesus willingly go through this kind of torment? It's because he's jealous for you. He will not let his sheep remain lost. He will not let anyone or anything take you from him. Like any good shepherd, he will lay down his life to protect his sheep, even if that means having to go to the cross to bear the iniquity of us all, which is exactly what he's doing. He bore the consequences of our sin. He defeated the lion who was trying to rip you away from him. Our lives were bought with a high price by our God and our shepherd. So never forget that the cross shows the astounding extent of God's jealousy for you.
Mm-hmm.